Number three, hello, welcome to another scenario editing tutorial. Hopefully the final part of our building like a pro series. From this point on, I know it's been going for the last 3 weeks. We're actually going to go on to looking at AP weather. That will be potentially next week or the week after. But for this one, I want to look at leveling up the scenario from last week. So if you think about how many times you've been on the train, not even just in the UK, anywhere, and you have to wait for other trains to pass for your train to proceed. That's quite a common thing. It does happen quite a lot. And I want to replicate that in the scenario because I kind of believe, and people, this is going to be controversial, I believe that how the railways are in the UK especially, nothing really runs that on time. So I'm thinking, do you think we could implement some sort of make it a bit more challenging in ours by adding some delayed trains in front of us so we have to wait for them? So that's what we're going to cover today. It's going to be a very quick scenario tutorial, and then next week we're going to start looking at AP weather in a bit more detail. So as you can see over here, we've got an AP weather block, which we're going to actually implement a new one just for something to do with this scenario actually. But don't worry too much about this because we will go through it next week. So what you want to do is obviously tick AP weather in the fields over here. So AP weather is selected. We then want to go back to our scenario marker, which I always struggle to find. I think it's this one. The easiest thing to do is actually just save it and then go to world editor, then back into scenario editor. So world editor, then scenario editor, just like that. We are then going to set one of our weather patterns. I know in the start of it we set as AP clear or clear mist as it is. We'll put that back to AP high cloud if we can. So high cloud is just here. And the second thing you'll do is you want to click this toggle icon up here and select this drop down to AP weather. That's very, very important before we put the weather marker in. So the point of the weather markers is that you can have control over the weather being dynamic. So as we're just doing basic, we're not going to make it dynamic, we're just going to set a preset. So we're going to have AP weather, you get a marker here, and the thing to remember about this one, it's very important, it can't go on a bit of active track that your train or any other train will go over. And I know this bit of track randomly here, that's not going to happen, so we're going to put our marker here, drag it on here, and then we're just going to deselect by right clicking. We're then going to double click on this, so it'll select, and we actually want to double click off so this this menu over here appears. And in this field here, in the Armstrong Powerhouse manual, it's got the weather codes for the actual patterns. So we're going to put this one. Here's one I copied earlier, and it goes from AP clear to overcast in 15 minutes. So that should give us enough time to see it. If this doesn't work, I'll have a bit more of in-depth look at it next week, but it should work. The last thing we're going to do is making them trains in front of us a bit delayed. So we're going to go to our timetable. Here's all the stuff we made last week, and we're going to look for the services coming towards Plymouth and Edinburgh. London to Plymouth. That one, oh sorry, that's Leeds to Plymouth. That's absolutely fine. It's the one we want. So it is meant to be in front of us. So hopefully it should be on time, but we're going to make it a bit later, I think. So I think we're going to get it to depart at 11, maybe 11:09. I think we arrive at Newton Abbot at 11:10, I believe. Let's have a look. Newton Abbot, we arrive at 11:12. Okay, so maybe let's make that 11:10 then. So if we go on back to it and change it to 11:10, that should just put it in front of us. And we'll also put a late running GWR service in front of us as well. I know it's meant to be due at 5:30, but what we'll do, we'll change it. So it's this one, not that one, sorry. It is, what service is it? It is Plymouth to Cardiff. And we're going to change that to depart its leaving point at maybe 11. Oh, I don't know, 11. Maybe let's make that 11:08. And that should give us a bit of time to see some trains come past us. As I say, it'll be quite a simple scenario, and we're now actually going to drive the trains and see how it goes. yeah, so this is the test we're going to drive to now. It's take about 15-20 minutes. Let's go, and I'll talk through what I'm doing when I'm driving. Right, so hopefully we've set the weather. If not, we can look at it again next week. That's not an issue. So we're going to enter the cab, and first of all set up the cab by clicking Shift W on our keyboard to change the master key into on, like that. And we're going to click S on our keyboard to change the reverser to forward. You're then going to have an alarm test to cancel that. Click F on your keyboard, and to cancel the final alarm, which is the AWS, click Q.
TPWS and AWS operational.
To go outside the train, if you click number 2, you can see an outside view, and we're locked to the train, just like that. We're going to open up doors by clicking T and U. So U is on the left side of the train, and O is the right side doors. So obviously select which one lines up with the platform. You can see our progress just here, and you can also see the rest of the like our HUD, which shows our sort of the diagram for the track. We can toggle this on and off by clicking F3. So F3 off, F3 on, and we can get full view by clicking F4, which brings up all the views, so you can go manually around the train like this. I'm not a fan of this one really. I'd rather just use the keyboard shortcuts, but I appreciate it do take a bit of time to sort of learn. So we're going to collapse our menu complete by clicking F4, and we're just going to wait for our doors to shut. To go onto a free view of the train, just click number 8 on your keyboard, and it stops you being locked to the train. And to zoom in, just use the scroll on your mouse. So in a minute our doors should start shutting. Just like that. So if we go now in our cab, going to do our guard buzzer back, so that's 2 C's on the keyboard, and we're also going to click Y to cancel the DRA, driver reminder appliance or application. I can't remember which one it is. I'm sure someone will tell me. And we're going to take power by clicking A on our keyboard. I'm not sure if this weather's going to work or not really. I have a feeling I might have set it up slightly wrong, but that's fine. I will show you how to do that properly next week. But that is the groundwork, the fundamentals you do to look at weather patterns. So using A on our keyboard, we're going to make sure we stay within the speed limit, which I just failed at. Right, so 20 miles an hour. To decelerate, it's D, and to accelerate, it's A on the keyboard. And we're just going to try and stay at 20 the best we can. So the speed limit is now 40, so we can up our speed limit to 40 miles an hour. And we can see a service going to come past us here, which is the one we set up the other day from the AI traffic. So that would have been an Exmouth to, I believe that was a Paignton service. Yeah, Exmouth to Paignton even. I think, I don't want to jinx it, but I think I have set up the weather. I think it's actually slowly turning to overcast. So yeah, that's good. I don't know if my screen's just ultra dirty, which no, there we go, it is working. That's good. I'm really happy with that. So with that marker we put in, it means you have a bit of sort of dynamic weather, so it keeps it interesting. So you might have a bit of rain or something like that. If you're in the UK, you know how changeable our weather is, so it's probably no shock really, is it? We're now on the hill up towards Torquay. This line's quite hard to keep speeds at really, because it's so up and down. So you think, oh right, I've got to 40 and it's absolutely fine. But we're now just going to try and stay at 40, but I'm aware we're going to have to drop down in a second or two. There we go, we're at 40, so it's going to drop down to 0 power. So, kind of a bit of the end of the series, really. What have we thought of the scenarios? Have the scenarios tutorials, have they been helpful? I've got a bit of mixed feedback from them. I like doing something different. I like driving, but I also like sort of teaching people what I've done in Train Simulator. So yeah, please let me know your feedback. Should we be doing more? Should we be doing less? Should we be doing more commentary, less commentary? Lots to think about. It's all, but as ever, all the content's produced for you guys. So just whatever you feel. So we're now approaching into Torquay. A sort of safe speed to come into a platform is about 30 miles an hour. That depends on the length of the platform and obviously your familiarity with the route. So we will go about 30, maybe just under into Torquay because it's not the longest platform, but we are only a 5-car train. So we're just going to reduce our speed a little bit for the platform. Yeah, we're now going around the corner into Torquay. Yeah, the very famous red and green bridge. And you can see our speed is now just dropping below 30. We're then going to drop down a little bit more, put a second notch of braking in, and we're just going to watch our speed and try and line up with the markers on the platform. So where it's got a number 3 there, that's for 3 carriage trains. You've got 4 coming up on your left hand side now, and you've got 4 and 5 carriage just here, which we are. So we're going to aim to stop just near that sign. And I think that is perfect. Lovely. So to release our doors, we're going to click T and U. T triggers a timetable event in the left hand corner here, and U opens a door. Yeah, I think the weather's changing as well. Sorry, also got the what's creakiest chair. I don't believe we actually set our headlights, so we're going to just do that now and just have a check on it. Yeah, they can now see us. Going to zoom out a bit, and we're going to watch our train come past. So when we do our scenarios, especially our ones, we do a lot of sort of zooming in and taking pictures, lots of different bits like that. Sorry, I thought my phone just went off, but it didn't, so apologies for that if you heard anything. So the doors will be shutting in a second. And we're just going to go. Blast the horn, so you've got the high horn and low horn. So that's the B key and the space bar. And we're just going to go back into our cab by clicking number 1. And at the same time, I'm going to click F3 to get our diagram for our track. So next station will be Torquay in a few minutes' time. Tor, sorry. It's quite close. We're going to just be in our cab for this one. I can't remember if I set any rain for the rest of this overcast. I think it is just overcast. So this might be all it turns into. But yeah, no, it's quite nice to have some changeable weather, I guess. Right, so just approaching, going up the hill now into Tor. When we brake on this one in a few minutes' time, or for a few seconds' time even, the hill will take quite a lot of speed off us. So there's no need to brake as hard into this one. So it's going to sort of start slowing down by just taking our speed off. And we're just gonna start braking, so you remember that below 30 when you hit the platform, so we should be just under, and then we'll add some braking when we get into the station, so about now. The secondary braking coming quite fast. So yeah, these trains have quite good brakes, and it depends on the length of the platform, but we should line up pretty well in a second. Just like that. Lovely. Fantastic. It does take a while to learn how to do all the stopping and train simulator. You can end up doing, yeah, you'll spend a few months definitely going over speed limits and everything like that. But yeah, 10 years of playing train simulator, I guess I've kind of got to the stage where I should know what I'm doing. We're not here for long actually, so we're going to be going in a few minutes, and next station will be Newton Abbot. We're only going to go as fast as Newton Abbot, just to trial out how the signals are just around there. Hopefully we've set them up correctly. Else we can sort of tweak them in the next tutorial, which will be about weather. Doors are now shutting, so let's just wait for them to sort of shut. And do 2 buzzers back. So next station is Newton Abbot in 6 miles. And the speed limit is now 45, so we've got a bit more sort of speed to play with for a bit. Apologies for that. Someone also rang me again. I seem to get a lot of phone calls today. I'll call them back in a few minutes. So we're now just at the top of our speed limit, and we're just going to keep an eye on kind of what's going on. So we can get up to 60 in a second, which would be quite good. I mean, we actually get somewhere, get somewhere a bit quicker. It feels like we're not going very fast at the minute. So it's going to keep going. I think almost, I haven't set the timetable quite right, because I think that train, I think we changed it to 11:10 actually. Oh, there we go. We can go up to 60, so it's going to let some speed out just there. There we go. Loving this weather. I think the weather looks really good. I want to get the cloud enhancement pack, but I need to know what the difference is kind of between like this, like overcast, and the sort of the like new cloud, if that makes sense. So we only go 60, so we're gonna have to brake a bit again because we're going downhill. There we go. So yeah, get creative with the timetables and the times. I mean, you can if you're willing to put a lot of time into the scenario thing, you can make some quite good stuff. And even there are ways of selling scenarios if you're really good at them. So yeah, maybe a little money earner. I know a few people that do it, and I think once you get in that mindset of how to do them, I think you can do some really quite cool stuff. To be perfectly honest. Right, hopefully we've timed this all correctly, and the train, so hopefully this signal will be showing an orange else we haven't timed it properly. Oh, overspeeding again. I tell you, it's hard to keep green. Okay, we haven't timed it particularly great. So I believe the other train's gonna not go in front of us. So I probably should say that actually should leave at 09, not 010. But that's fine. We can hopefully work this out. Let's see in a second what it does. I think what's also happened is the priority of the trains might be slightly wrong. So I think, yeah, okay, that's not great. All right, fair enough. We've got the other 166 just in front of us, just there. Just need to slow down to 55 miles an hour, so I didn't actually need to slow down. Ah, there we go. That's kind of what's happened. I'd be surprised if it doesn't get you to stop, to be honest. Right, so what's the next speed limit saying for us? Okay, so let's have a look. That's quite interesting how it's done that. I think I know what's going to happen. Okay, so we've got priority, which is quite cool. So yeah, I suppose this is almost leveling up your scenarios in a way. So we have got a slight priority over that train to our left just there. So it's going to pass in front of him because I imagine we are a express passenger. He might be a stopping one. So do need to change that. Also, note to the pantograph, if you recall in our last scenario, we actually changed how that should work. So let's just slow down a bit. So yeah, it is a bit of trial and error, I'm afraid. So yeah, we probably should change that to 1109, that cross country leaving. But that's just one of them things, because I think what's going to happen now actually is going to pass us on our right, and he's going to be waiting for us to move across. But yeah, a bit of trial and error. But yeah, that even still looks good. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. I don't know what you lot are thinking, but yeah, there he is. He's look at him. He's waiting for us to pass. Should have been the other way around. We should have gone in front of him. Never mind. But yeah, I suppose that's the other way around. The priority is working the other way, so he's got to wait for us to come in instead of us going across because we're an express passenger. Just slowing down, remember the 30. Noon Abbot itself is quite a long station, so it's not like you have to really slow down that early. Just keep slowing down. There we go. So we're coming to the end of this scenario and this series. If you have any questions, please just drop them in the comments below. Remember to give us a big fat thumbs up, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for being here for the last 3 weeks. It's been quite cool. I've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. And next week we'll be looking at AP weather and a bit more advanced, kind of bit today, but building on that. As ever, I'll see you soon.